When I need answers about anything to do with personal growth, I go straight to my mom and my aunt. Here they are, Priscilla Babin and Tina Gilliat with the sister sauce.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sister Sauce. I'm Priscilla Babin, and my beautiful sister Tina Gilliat is here with me on the Zoom. Hello, sister.
Hello, everybody.
Tina, what's today?
Today is our 52nd episode and our 1 year anniversary of podcasting.
Oh, happy anniversary, honey.
Thank you. I was trying to decide if we should call it our 1 year birthday or a 1 year anniversary. I think I like anniversary better.
Yeah. Although it is our baby. You're raising it
Our
together.
baby's 1 year old.
It can walk on its own. Oh, goodness.
Kind of like the clothes on the bedroom floor that in your teenager's room.
Yeah.
It can walk away on its own after a while.
Throw them at the wall and see if they stick. I'm no new one. Actually, the reason my teenagers' rooms have clothes on the floor is because I stole their baskets to do laundry almost a week ago, and I haven't given them back. So sorry, kids. You have, I know you have some,
Hot sauce.
yeah, that hot sauce.
That stuff. Yeah, I have some
That
hot sauce.
stuff.
Yeah. So I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if anybody else does it, but a lot of times I don't have the email anymore. I used to get an email of the quote of the day, and I don't do that anymore. But I have it saved on my computer. And so I look at the quote of the day sometimes. And the quote of the day today is from Dag Hammarskjöld. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've listened to it over and over again, but that's the best in English pronunciation. But Dag Hammarskjöld was a Swedish economist and a diplomat, and served as the second Secretary General of the United Nations from 1953 until his death in 1961. And he had a really good quote, and it was chosen on the quote of the day site as today's quote. And I wanted to share it because I really liked it. It says, "Never measure the height of a mountain until you reach the top. Then you will see how low it was." And
Oh,
that's actually Dag Hammarskjöld. Dag Hammarskjöld. And I love that because it's sort of like, oh my, act yourself into a feeling quotes that at anytime I talk about acting yourself into a feeling, it's all usually there are reasons that we hold back on something and we don't do it. And in this particular case, what he's saying is you are measuring the mountain before you even try to climb it, and you're probably overestimating. And I think that's what we tend to do, and why we procrastinate is that we are overwhelmed just thinking about a project or whatever it is we have to work on, and we're measuring it. And so if you can avoid measuring the mountain before you start to climb it, it might make it more palatable to begin working on it. So I just thought that was kind of a cool quote. Never
that's
measure the height of a mountain until you reach the top, then you will see how low it was. Dag Hammarskjöld.
nice. Spoiler alert, I think that's going to go really nicely with my marinade today.
Ooh. Ooh.
Mhm. I don't know who that quote's by, but
And it sort of kind of relates to our meat sauce because we had talked about doing a podcast for a really long time. And we kept thinking it was going to be this massive undertaking. And then once we got into it, we were able to like roll with it.
Mhm. And you've learned a lot of things through trial and error, making things
Yeah.
easier on you being our video editor and tech engineer person.
Well, I think, yeah. So for everybody listening or watching who doesn't know, this is our, oh, we just said it, didn't we? Did we
Yeah,
say it was our 1 year?
yeah.
That's right, we did. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. I forgot that quick that we had already said it. I was thinking we mentioned it before we got online. Yes. So this is our 1 year anniversary, so we're excited. But I think now, what do you think? I know we're going to talk about the different episodes we've done, but it just hit me, you know, we've mentioned it a few times that you and I have learned so much from doing this podcast. Like we've
Mhm.
researched different topics and really studied. We've also, of course, had to learn about how to do a podcast. And I'll
Yeah.
just share, and you can share if there was anything special that you learned about it. Well, a couple of things, obviously, is that on the tech side of it, I've learned some editing tricks that were a lot of fun to. I enjoy video editing. And so I've learned a lot of video editing tricks that have really come in handy. And I've used them not just for our podcast, but also for church videos that I've edited and for my business as well. But on the other side of it, the podcasting thing that I learned, and you and I, when we were starting out, um, I watched some videos on how to do podcasting and it helped me. But I'll say that it was so much simpler than I thought to get our podcast on multiple platforms. I thought I was going to have to do, like, if you want it on 10 platforms, you're going to have to do 10 times the work with uploading and all that. And that's not true. Once you get it on Spotify, there's an RSS feed that you can use to subscribe yourself to other platforms. And so if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to try to answer those questions for you. But I just wanted to share that that was an interesting learning process. And I was able to replicate it for our church. We decided to put our pastor's sermons on podcast. And so now Pastor Katie's sermons are on a podcast platform within our website, but they're also on Spotify and YouTube and um, Apple Podcasts and several other platforms. And so it's kind of cool when you learn something for one project and you're able to transfer that experience to another and
Mhm.
make it better. I love
That's
that.
cool.
What about
Yeah.
you? Anything particular you learned that you've enjoyed?
Well, I mean, I enjoy any time I spend with you, but
Me too.
obviously, but the thing that I was thinking of when you were talking about, the process of learning how to streamline the production element, I feel like we have also streamlined our presentation element because I think we started off working too hard because we wanted to have a suitable amount of content, but we were trying too hard, I think, and we were doing more research than we needed to do for one episode, and we've learned to kind of streamline that too and limit ourselves so that we don't, spend all day on online with each other for one podcast.
And the
And
editing has gotten a lot easier, thankfully, for that reason.
yes, and the prep too, because we've gotten a good flow of, we kind of we don't take turns every week on off doing, one of us does the research and the other gets caught up, with when we sign on. But we do like kind of bounce back and forth which one of us is doing more research, which one of us, or sometimes we both do a little research, and it just kind of has been flowing really naturally, and
Yeah.
instead of us having to assign anything, or and like, I know when you're having an overwhelming week and if it's a topic I can research easily, I'll just get on it. And the same with you. When I'm having a really busy, crazy week, you're on top of it. And that we haven't had to actually verbalize that with each other, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it just shows how in tune we are with one another, and
A
just that
cohesive unit.
flow is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think back to what you said at the beginning, I think one of the things for me as a public speaker and a trainer is I've always had an issue with wanting to cram so much information into my presentations. And over the years, I've learned that it's more important to engage people so that they can learn something than to try to overwhelm them with information and they won't
Yeah.
learn anything. And I don't remember the quote, but there's a quote by Walt Disney where he says something like that, like he would rather entertain people and hope that they walked away with some knowledge than to try to educate them and have them walking away disengaged or whatever. It's something along those lines. And I always appreciated that quote because that's me. I have a tendency to feel like, especially when you're in a position where you're charging people to speak at their events or training, and you feel like you have to give them the value, there's this tendency to want to add way more information than is really necessary because you and I both have learned that our information that we look up, a lot of times other people can just Google too. But what's more important is our experiences with those things. And so, like the ADHD episode that we did a couple of weeks ago, I felt like that was just one of our better episodes because we had so much to share from personal experience. And I do believe we've gotten better in that way, like you said, that we've learned to balance the research that we've done with the personal experiences. It's been great.
For sure. Yeah. And just it it's like it spurs more interest in all the different topics too. So I feel like we're so extra educated.
Really? I mean, we've got 52 or 51, not counting today, 51 topics we can just rattle off facts about.
Uh-huh. Fun fact, we know weird stuff about Christmas traditions in different countries and
Yeah. And
so many things.
fun fact, Ted Lasso's quote about goldfish isn't really true. It's a myth.
Don't tell Jason Sudeikis.
Well, I think it
Oh,
would be fun to just kind of go through the list of episodes that we did and just if anything stands out that we remember about that episode, think that it would be fun.
mm,
So you wanna start?
sure. How many do you want me to read off? You want me to just read one and
Let's just do five at a time because if we do one at a time, I think we'll be here all
okay.
day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because we'll
So
comment on everything.
do 5 episodes and then share something you remember about one of them. How's that?
Okay. Do a challenge.
Ooh.
All right. So our first our first 5 episodes, and I'm kind of I'm laughing at this. Okay, the first 5 episodes. First one was breast cancer awareness, which totally makes sense because October. It was in
Right.
October. The second one was toxic masculinity.
Oh my God.
Third one was binge-worthy shows. The fourth one was family caregivers, and the fifth one was social media. And I don't have something specific to comment on one of those. What I would like to comment is I find it so interesting that we started with a pretty serious, but I mean it could be a negative subject, I guess, depending on how you think about it, but it's a positive message of, take care of yourself. And we went right into toxic masculinity the next week. We were brave. Of course, then we were like serious out and moved on to binge-worthy TV shows. So it's
That was
pretty
a fun
evident
one.
how we handled our seriousness level. We had to give it some a wave there of serious, serious, not serious, take a break. Get back a little serious with family caregivers and then ease off a little bit with social media.
Well, the thing that I remember the most about it is one, that our very first episode, you were a little freaked out because you weren't sure how you felt about being on a podcast. I mean, you were excited about doing it with me, but you were like, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not sure how I feel about this. And then I kept saying, but it's just like we have conversations all the time. And so I think once we had a few under our belt, you really relaxed. And by the time we got to that social media episode, you and I both get so annoyed with people on social media. And I think the thing that stands out to me the most out of all five of those episodes, as far as what we talked about, was that I don't remember if you did, but I got really hot at certain parts of the
I think I
discussion. And
did
I was
too.
like, shaking my head. And I'm
We
going
were
to
fired
mention
up.
right now to our viewers and listeners that if you hear a beep, it means we're inserting a clip from that episode. So I don't want you to get confused when you start hearing us talking about something completely different or whatever. But I'll probably insert a clip of the social media. I think we had some pretty raised voices on that one. People don't realize the harm they're doing by sharing that garbage.
Mhm.
And if you're not willing to take, I'm sorry, I'm being judgmental here, but if you're not willing to take the 1 minute or 2 minutes to Google something and make sure it's legit before you share it, you shouldn't be sharing.
Mhm.
I'm done. Thank you.
You have to vet these things. If you don't validate it, don't share it.
Well, the next five episodes were episode 6 was gratitude. We talked about that. And 7 was stress reduction. 8 was a fun one. It was ways to respond. 9 was our favorite books. And then 10 was right around Christmas time or the start of the Christmas season. And we did our favorite, or actually Christmas traditions from around the world. And I'll say that I remember the ways to respond one was a lot of fun to research, but we had so much stuff that we couldn't fit it all. We had some good ways to respond to people. And stress reduction, we had a lot to share about that one.
Yeah. We had done a lot about that when we were doing our Sensei Sisters videos too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like that next 5 episodes was a good comeback from such serious topics in the first one, the first batch. And then that Christmas, I gotta say, the favorite books was tough because, we both have a lot of favorite books. And any of those favorites episodes we've done have always, taken a lot of homework because it's funny. It's one thing to research, but online, it's another thing to research in your own brain. It's hard. But it was fun looking up all the Christmas stuff though. The Christmas stuff
remember
was
you
really
took the
neat.
lead on that one and you found some
There's
really
some
cool
weird
stuff.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, cool, but also some weird things. Go look up Belschnickel, y'all. January 6th, which we here in our area we think of it as King's Day or Epiphany, is a day of rest for women because they've been cooking and preparing for the Christmas season and they need a rest. I like that one. I want to take that one.
I love that one
It's
too.
National Moms Nap Day. And lay around. Well, the next 5 we got it looks like we got some fun episodes in the next 5, which were the first 5 of the next year. So we had New Year's resolutions, which is we always like to do that, and CTE, which was Tina's specialty.
Career and technical education. Yes, that was
Yeah.
kind of fun. I think Clover was on that episode, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
That was a good
That was,
episode.
yeah, that was during Christmas break still. Yep.
Yes.
And debunking myths, which was cool, and then Library Lovers Month. And then the 15th one was goal setting, which kind of brought it full circle from the first one of the year with our resolutions. But I love anything to do with books in the library, so I was excited to do Library Lovers Month. And it was fun to debunk myths, except for poor Ted Lasso. Any of those stand out for you?
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed the Library Lovers Month because I I've not been to a library regularly in years, and you did most of the research on that with your librarian children. And I just got a big kick out of learning about some of the resources that the libraries had that I didn't know they had. And, that it's come up again where we talked on the one episode about the bride's dresses that were at
Uh-huh.
the library where you could go borrow a
Yeah.
wedding dress
Yeah.
and prom dresses at one
Uh-huh.
library. So yeah, I think that was my favorite out of all of them. I mean, I enjoyed the CTE because that's my bailiwick, that's
Hmm.
what my master's is in. But yeah, definitely Library Lovers Month. I enjoyed that. And I kind of sat back and let you do most of the work on that one. And
It
so
was
that
fun.
made it even more fun because while we were podcasting, I was learning new things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. But I don't remember if I think I told you, but I don't know if I've mentioned it on the pod. I found out one of the things, and it depends on what library, because each of the libraries, as far as having the lending library thing with the actual physical items that you could take out, and like we talked about then, it might be instruments or kitchen appliances or whatever. But I know that in Houston, Texas, there is ghost hunting equipment that can be, at least that's the impression I got from what I heard.
Ooh,
I know
interesting.
somebody had purchased some for the library. I have a Houston library card
Ooh.
because of
Well, they're getting ready to
connection.
open a new library in St. Bernard Parish, and it's right near my house. So I'm
There you
excited
go.
about that. And when they were
Yeah.
first building it, AJ was like, wow, that's going to be a small library. And now we go, oh my gosh, it's massive. So I'm really excited
Fun.
about it. Looks like it's going to be nice.
Whenever they open up, we'll have to make a little field trip.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I don't even think I have a library card anymore. I had gotten the library card in 2012 because we lost our house in Hurricane Isaac and we had just moved to St. Bernard Parish and were renting a house while we were waiting to buy another house after we lost our house in Plaquemines Parish. And so we all got library cards so we could go use the internet because we lost all of our computer equipment and everything. And so we would go to the library to check our email and everything. And that's how I got a library card, but I don't know what happened to it. And it's probably expired anyway. But yeah, that was a good episode. All right. So episode 16 was Mardi Gras. 17 was Valentine's Day. 18 was letters from listeners. That was kind of fun. 19 was our favorite movies, and 20 was Inspiring Women, which was
Mm.
so wonderful. I mean, just learning
Mhm.
all about those women. And the letters from listeners was a kick too, because spoiler, we didn't get a whole lot of letters from listeners, so we made up our own, and
Yeah.
they were pretty interesting, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. That was fun being creative. We had way too much fun with that.
We did. We did. Our writers, we are both writers, and the writer came out in both of us on that. We
Mhm.
had some fun with that. That's why I think that was when I kept saying, we need to write a book together. We need to write a book together because we enjoyed that so much. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I think obviously the holiday ones are always fun.
Yeah, for
And the
sure.
getting to write the letters was fun. I the inspiring women was very inspiring. But like I said before, it's always tough when we have to pick favorites of anything. And I love anything to do with any kind of storytelling. So books, TV shows, movies,
Yes.
videos on Instagram, whatever. I love storytelling and hearing a story, and especially if there's personal growth involved in the characters, if a character good old character arc. So um talking about our favorite movies was a lot of fun for me because I
Oh
love
yeah, and you and
other
I had
people.
so many that were the same. And
Yeah.
oddly, when we did the favorite TV show episodes earlier on, you had never watched Ted Lasso. And so
Yeah.
Office was your number one, and Ted Lasso and The Office were both of my top ones.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of let Ted Lasso be my top one since you picked The Office, which I think Ted Lasso definitely is. I love The Office, but I think Ted Lasso is my favorite. But that was kind of funny because you eventually ended up watching Ted Lasso, and I've always wondered if you would go back and re-rank.
I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't
no.
want that pressure.
Yeah,
No
that would
thanks.
be funny. Okay.
I am on my second watch through of Ted Lasso. Most of the way through I'm almost more than halfway. I'm more than halfway through the first three seasons, and cautiously optimistic about the possibility of a fourth season. But yeah, I know you feel the same way.
I am, yeah, I feel like they ended it really well, and I'm not sure I want them to go back there. But
Yeah,
it seems like whenever they push a show further than it needs to be, it doesn't end well.
it
But
doesn't
we'll see.
fly.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I feel the same way about the new Harry Potter series that they're working on,
Mm.
you know. And well, we won't get into that.
That's
So
a
our
whole
next
nother show.
yeah, our next five, we had number 21 was trending news.
Hmm.
That was fun just to take a break from heavy things and just look at you know, stuff that
Some of the
was
fun news
current.
stories that were happening at the
Mhm.
moment. Yeah.
Some of them were pretty inspiring too.
Yeah.
And then of course St. Patty's Day. And the next one was a big homework for you, spring cleaning and organizing, because that's a thing that tickles your
That was
fancy.
another one that I got like really excited about.
Yes, I know you did. And then Easter, which I love Easter, was 24, and 25 was National Humor Month, which I think we told jokes and talked about the why there's National Humor Month, but all of those were a lot of fun. You know, my favorite of all time is Sarah
Sarah
Millican.
Milligan. Yeah.
Oh, she's filthy, but I love her.
But she's real. I
She
mean,
is real.
oh,
She's very real
love her.
and very down to earth, and she's a lot of fun.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
I'm always happy to learn more tips for cleaning and organizing. So I think that was my favorite out of those
Yeah,
five.
me too. I enjoyed that. And you might remember that I had researched like on the Dollar Tree website different
Yeah. Oh,
things you could
yeah.
use. And that was so much fun to
Gadgets and things.
yes, that was a lot of fun. And it was right around
I
the
might
time
need to
I
go
was
back and
doing a lot at
rewatch.
my house. Wait, what?
I said I might need to go back and rewatch.
I know. And I guess I'll interject now that you usually, so our process for people that don't know it, which is pretty much nobody except for us, is that we record on Friday morning and I usually edit Friday afternoon. And then I send you the link to the hidden video and you watch it sometime between Friday afternoon and Saturday evening and give me the go ahead to hit the release button. And so I schedule it to be published on Sunday morning, usually around 7 o'clock and honestly, sometimes I forget and but the link is still available. So if we shared it, it's still available. But I wanted to say you watch it to check it for me. And of course, I'll watch it a lot in the editing. But the fun thing for me is that AJ and I have date night every Saturday night. And so we listen, not watch, but listen to the podcast in the car when we're driving to date night and back home again. And we joke about this in the family between you and AJ and I all the time that it takes us like 2 hours to get through a 1 hour episode because we have to stop it every few minutes so AJ can comment on it
Mhm.
and say, "Oh, that was a really good point," or "You didn't think to say this," and then I'll be like, "That we're famous for." He'll go, "You should." He'll pause it and he'll go, "You should have said blah blah blah." And then I'll go, push the button. And he pushes the button. And I said exactly what he was saying. I'm like, You got to give me time to answer, dude.
He's
you're like judging me.
okay. He's like Joey, because this is maybe Joey. Blah, rewind. Maybe AJ has ADHD too.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
He's AJHD. Because that's one of Joey's ADHD superpowers is if I'm reading him a book he hasn't heard before, then all of a sudden he will predict what's coming, or he'll ask a question that is about to immediately get answered
Yeah,
every time.
definitely AJ.
And
Yeah.
it used to infuriate me, and I'm just like, just shut up and listen. I don't say that,
That's what,
but I'm thinking it.
Same.
But
I'm
then
like,
now when it happens, I'm cracking up because I'm like, yep.
oh my gosh,
Would have
that's so
expected
funny.
that.
That is so
Oh, and
funny.
he does it when we're watching movies and TV shows. But it is an ADHD superpower. We're able to get like multiple steps ahead. And I've found out there's been a few times in my life where people have tried to surprise me and I knew it was coming. You got me for my 50th birthday though. I have to say I had no clue. Like it took half an hour for it to even sink in, but what was going
I
on.
think you were so busy that we just kind of confused the heck out of you and
Yeah, I was easily confused at that time.
kept
With
you a little
everything.
baffled by the whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, don't watch any TV or movies with Joey if you don't want spoilers, because he's really good at it. He's really good at it. And we're rewatching a show right now that, thank goodness, well, we were rewatching that, we're on to new episodes, but it was a good thing me and Clover had seen them before, because he would start that asking questions and we'd just look at each other and start giggling. Like, it's coming. Just pay
Yeah,
attention. It's
for
coming.
sure. For sure. All
Ouch.
right. Episode 26 was National Volunteer Week. That was a lot of fun, talking about places you could volunteer and what you get out of volunteering. That was a lot of fun. Earth Day in 27, episode 27. Episode 28 was about different heroes in today's age and recent history. Episode 29 was Mental Health Awareness Month, which was not a fun subject to talk about, but we were appreciative of the fact that we could share some resources and all. And then episode 30 was Good News, where we just gave some inspirational kind of stories and stuff, if I remember correctly. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Mental health awareness is always important, but I know Earth Day was a big deal for me because I got really excited. That was one I got really jazzed about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Coming up on those two, the spring cleaning and organizing and the Earth Day, we were both like chomping at the bit to get,
Oh yeah, and then you
consecutively
sang to us, and you sang the reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, well, we're trying to recycle. Let's try. Oh, I see what's coming up.
Yeah.
Number
So
31.
between the TV episode and this half the year later, you had already caught on and watched Ted Lasso.
Yeah. It just took me a little while. But yeah, 31 was Ted Lasso quotes, which y'all just go back and listen to that one.
That was a lot of fun. If you
want to enrich your life.
Of course.
I have my little partner in crime. I have my tiny little Keely Jones with me. If you watch the video, you can see my little little Keely. It's a pop figure of Keely Jones that my Clover was at the mall yesterday and saw and texted me and said, "Would you like this tiny Keely Jones?" And I said, "Yes."
Oh,
I said, "I can't say no to a tiny Keely." And she's so cute in her little red coat, and she's got her little crop top on and her earrings and her boots. She's so cute. Okay.
I was sitting here going,
"Oh,
Keely was my favorite," but I could probably say that about every
Ted
Lasso character.
I know.
Every single one of them.
And then 32 was our favorite podcasts, where we talked about other podcasts. And we still
talked about podcasts on our podcast and said which ones were our favorite podcasts.
Yeah. Yo, dog, I heard you like podcasts. So I'll put podcasts about podcasts in your podcast. Sorry, that is a reference to the show Pimp My Ride, if anybody doesn't know. The good old 90s or whenever that was. But let's see, where were we? Oh, and 33, we interviewed our buddy Catherine, who is
Yeah,
a amazing artist, and she makes jewelry too. And
yeah,
she's so much fun, and we hang out with her all the time. And 34 was summer fun. That was interesting because I was too lazy to want to do any of the things on the list. And then 35, which was one I'm very passionate about, which is National Hydration Day. I'm passionate about hydration all the time, although
yeah.
some days I'm not as hydrated as I ought to be, but that's an important, that's important. It's not as important maybe as mental health awareness, but it's important.
Yeah, those are all good. The summer fun when we talked about things you could do with your kids during the summer to entertain
Mhm.
them. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it could come back around. When the summer comes back, y'all get on that one again too. And
Yeah.
hydration is good all the time.
All right. So let's see.
36.
I lost my place here. Okay. 36 was 4th of July ideas that you could do for 4th of July parties and just to celebrate the 4th of July. That was fun. The next one, 37, was a National Anti-Boredom Month, and we talked about things you could do to keep from being bored or things you could do when you were bored that you wouldn't have maybe thought of doing. Breakthrough, break free from the big three was episode 38. And that was actually a national holiday, was break free from the big three.
Mhm.
And it's a day where people are encouraged to examine and change what isn't going well in their life, specifically with the big three. And if you remember, we got a big kick out of that. The big three were habits, relationships, and mobile carriers. And we just
Yeah.
thought that was the funniest thing. And so we did not recommend any mobile carrier changes, but we
No.
did talk a lot about how to change your habits and do better things in your
Mhm.
life by just improving your relationships and all. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see, I keep losing my place because I click off the window.
39.
Oops, sorry. Okay. 39 is young people today. And we talked about some young people who were very inspiring. And then 40 was all about friendship. And that was really sweet. That was a nice episode.
I love friendship. And
Yes.
it was cool hearing about we've had quite a few of these episodes where we talk about the news and in current things that are trending and stuff and feel good stories, and a lot of times it's young people who are very inspiring, and we talked about our youth going to the gathering and everything in that episode, and now we just recently had them take over a whole church service, and that was really inspiring. So we've come full circle now because they were able to be our ministers for a day, which was cool.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah. And we still haven't changed cell phone providers. And that's still that came back to haunt me, but and I
We
still
did, and that came to haunt us.
yeah, it just doesn't.
It eventually worked out in the end, but it was a nightmare getting it to happen and getting our old mobile carrier to give us back the money they had to give us. So,
Mm, that's all we have to say about that.
yeah.
41 was National Sister Day. Woo! We love each other, so we had to talk about it. And 42 was travel, which was like homework for me because I'm trying to plan, for next summer for travel because we want to go on a trip. But So maybe I need to go back and re-listen to our travel episode and remind myself what I need to be doing. But and then 43, which has persisted in our brains, is the senior citizens benefits. We were at breakfast the other morning and went to go grab something at the grocery store next door and saw a senior citizen discount day is Tuesday. I'm like, oh, we missed it.
That was fun
And
though. We learned a lot
yeah,
from that.
we did. That one helped us financially.
It
And
did.
then 44 was be kind to humankind, which we're very passionate about. And another one we were very passionate about was 45, self-improvement.
Yeah,
So those are all real good.
I
That's a really good
know.
series of them.
Yes, as we're reading through the list, I'm like, we had a lot of good episodes. There were a couple that we were like, this wasn't our best episode, but we've always learned and enjoyed, and we had some really good ones.
Yeah.
46 was Grandparents' Day. Episode 47 was Online Learning Day, which somebody mentioned one of the online learning platforms to me the other day, and I cracked up because I remembered Clover's sweet and sour sauce about it. And I just laughed so much about that. And then I shared with them Clover's sweet and sour sauce. That was funny.
I have some things to say about Khan Academy.
Some
This is-
cons.
I have some cons. Okay, this is sour sauce today. Uh-oh.
Episode 48 was Happiness at Work, and we talked about companies that were great to work for. And that was kind of cool. I keep saying I haven't done it yet. I keep saying I'm going to forward the one article to Olivia because she is interested in working in tech. And even though she's a graphic artist, but she has some certifications she's working on at the moment, and she wants to do something in tech. And most of those companies are tech. And I thought, what a great, except that I would cry if she moved to California. But, she can maybe work from home. I'll keep her living with me forever. And then 49, we had a lot of fun. And I will share that when we decided at one point that we were kind of getting stuck in a rut and we wanted to do something fun. And I said, we should interview somebody fun. And Priscilla immediately said, we should interview Mike Kimmel, who's a friend of ours. And we had so much fun talking to Mike. He's an actor and an author, and what a blast. And just a funny guy. And, and I think he's ADHD too. But he was a trip. Most creative people, yeah. And I'll go ahead and just add, the episode 50 was ADHD, which we really had a blast with. And then we only have one left. So I'll share that the last episode, which was last week, was menopause with Jean Andrus, the menopause guru. So if you haven't watched the ADHD and the menopause episodes, and you're a woman our age, go for it, or anybody that has to deal with somebody with ADHD and menopause together. Yeah, interesting.
And, oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe we've done all of these things. It feels like we only decided to do this yesterday,
I know.
Crazy.
It's just amazing. And what's funny is that, we shared, like when we first started doing our podcast, we shared some background on us and why we started the Sensei Sisters, which was our original title for ourselves, which we still use somewhat. The Sensei Sisters doing the sister sauce. We love alliteration. No joke about that. But it was funny because I was telling AJ, we were listening to last week's podcast, and I think we alluded to the fact that this was our anniversary episode. And AJ said, I can't believe y'all been doing this podcast for a whole year. It doesn't seem like it. And he goes, you and Priscilla have been meeting like for breakfast for like 2 or 3 years now, right? And I just looked at him and I said, babe, no, we've been meeting for breakfast since 2018, 6 years. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I do too. And,
And
you
just,
know, and just to share a little background about that, we were both going through difficult times.
mm,
Your husband had just been diagnosed, and my son had just passed away, and you and I were both struggling. And AJ said, "You guys are each other's support system. Y'all need to meet for breakfast or meet for lunch or something so that y'all have some good FaceTime together every week." And that was the most brilliant idea my husband has ever come up with.
mhm. And we get
He's
so
pretty
excited.
brilliant, so.
He is. Well, he married you, so there's proof, but you know, and he takes good care of you too, which I appreciate. Even when he
Oh,
doesn't feel the best, he's taking care of my
this
sister.
is true. This is
I love
true.
you, AJ.
Oh,
I hope he
he,
likes his shout out.
as you know, he's going through his immunotherapy treatments and cancer treatments right now, and he's having some side effects this week that he wasn't having previously. And so he's not 100%. He's feeling kind of crummy. But yeah, he knew that I was stressed out. And so I'm showing y'all, if for the listeners, I'm showing my coffee cup. There we go. Put it in the middle so you can see it. But he actually gave me a huge coffee cup that's a Christmas mug today because he said he knew I needed some joy.
Oh, so
Because I've been
sweet.
stressed out worried about him and worried about my child. And yeah,
Mm.
so I'm
Oh,
blessed. I'm blessed. But oh my gosh, 52 episodes. Can you believe
I
it?
know. I
This has
know.
been crazy. I love it.
And we get so excited every time we know we're like Tuesday night, we get together on Wednesday mornings.
Mhm.
And then we also been getting together online on Thursday nights and on Friday mornings. We do Thursday night for fun and Friday mornings to do the podcast. And we see each other on Sundays. And I still can't get enough. I'm like, I wish every day was Wednesday.
I know. I enjoy my sister time. And
Yeah,
then when the kids were traveling, you and I did a sister's day where we went to lunch and to a movie, and
that's
then we
right. That
went to
was
dinner
fun.
with our brother.
Yeah.
So we had a long day together. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
But
fun.
yeah, we need to do more of that.
We're just sitting here making everybody jealous
Yeah, it's
because
good
they
to
all
have a
want to have a
sister.
sister.
But remember, we talked about that on the Sisters Day podcast that a sister doesn't have to be a sister by blood.
Right. You can have a best friend, sister, or brother, or person. It doesn't have to, doesn't matter.
Yep, doesn't have to be any particular gender.
Yeah.
Well, I have enjoyed reminiscing over our last 51 episodes.
Mhm.
Do you have anything you want people to marinate on this week?
I
Marinate in
do.
this week?
I do. And this is, I thought I had something that I wanted to share, and then I went and looked at it, and I said, "Oh, this is more of a hot sauce. I'm gonna save that for when I do hot sauce." And I just happened to open Instagram, and this was the first thing that popped up, and it is a quote, and I can't tell you who it's from because the video it's from was shared and shared again without
You
the
don't really know who the
original
original
poster's
poster was.
permission. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
happened.
and I don't know in the context of it, the original poster was saying that it's something their wife says all the time, and I don't know where she got it. So this is traveled, you know. Um, but the quote is fear is a mile wide and an inch deep.
Hmm.
And he elaborated on it to say, you know, when you are fearing the unknown or something you have to do, it looks so big, like an ocean. And really, it's just a puddle because you don't find out until you step your foot in that the fear is not as big as it felt. Isn't that something?
And it's so much like what my hot sauce was. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I love that.
Yeah, it's not the same thing, but it goes hand in hand with,
Yes,
doesn't it?
it does. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
yep. So
Mhm.
y'all just remember that, marinate in that, and remember Tina's hot sauce. Good
Oh,
stuff.
wow. What a great episode. Well, We'll be back next week with more good stuff. But until then, make yourself a priority.
And take care of you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to keep up on all the latest sauce. See you next time.